Radio Melbourne.
23 minutes past 7. What would Flinders Street sound like as a piece of music? One man thinks it sounds like this. Callum Watson is a local pianist and composer, a prolific producer spanning many genres, an ambassador for young Australian jazz and classical talent, and a man who in December 2019 started writing a new suite of compositions exploring the history of some famous Melbourne streets. Good morning, Callum.
Good morning, Sammy.
Some beautiful music there, but you were writing about the streets, a couple of months before they all completely emptied?
Yeah, it's like the series that I based it on by Pat Swaller. He wrote the London Suite in 1936, just before World War II. And so a bit of coincidence there.
So did it then influence the writing of the work, or were you thinking of it more traditionally or more historically anyway?
Yeah, more historically, trying to get a bit of the past of the streets, also a bit of the present, i.e. the COVID situation, a bit of what the streets might look like in the future.
So the streets you've picked, we just heard a little bit of Flinders Street. You picked the Ring Road, which is nice. Get one of the big hitters in there. Brunswick Street and Chapel Street. How do you narrow it down?
Well, I've gone with the ones that have a bit of really obvious culture that can nicely set some music. The Ring Road, obviously you've got that crazy rush hour, then that big contrast at midnight with totally empty streets.
This is the Ring Road now we're listening to.
Yeah.
Let's have a quick listen. Callum, that is some beautiful music. It doesn't necessarily properly describe the panic I have when I fail to get the right exit on the Ring Road.
Well, obviously that's the circular melody, so that's just a nice midnight theme for the Ring Road, I thought.
And Brunswick Street?
Yes, well, that's a bit of a rags to riches story. So I thought I'd start with a nice Scott Joplin-y kind of rag, then move into this more progressive jazz thing as it's become now, with like the Jazz Lab and all that coming up.
As you were writing these, you were writing some of this during lockdown, weren't you?
Oh yeah.
So you weren't at times you weren't even able to visit the actual points of inspiration yourself.
Yeah, I had to rely on a bit of Google Maps and a bit of calling people around.
Now, I did ask you whether you had any outtakes. I understand you've put together a few outtakes from the roads that didn't quite make it. What have you got for me?
Yeah, well, this might be the Melbourne Suite Volume 2. So I've started with Punt Road. I thought the obvious way to make Punt Road is on the road again and mix it with a bit of...
Richmond.
Bit of Richmond.
Well, that's some pretty refined football club anthems there. And you've also taken us to Docklands, is that right? Melbourne Star?
Yeah, this is Sammy and Virginia's little trip to the Melbourne Star. They go up and down. We hear...
Is this the bit where it gets stuck?
Yeah.
Oh, and back down we go. Callum, that is the gentle moment we needed this morning. The work premieres at the Kensington Town Hall on February the 12th, and it'll be later put on YouTube, I understand. Huge congratulations in putting this little time capsule of Melbourne streets, and I am looking forward to part 2, when you could perhaps include the Great Hoddle Street and Punt Road divide.
I think so. Thanks so much for having me on.
Cheers, Callum. That's Callum Watson there, local pianist and composer who's created some beautiful music in response to Melbourne streets. As I say, you can check it all out at the Kensington Town Hall on February the 12th at 7 o'clock. Of course, limited capacity, given the old #pandemic.